is involving Marvel. Marvel pissed me off. You and I sat here and did this fucking show last week, and I enjoyed doing the show. I always enjoy doing the fucking show. And the very next day, I go to work in the fucking morning, and I get a notification that for whatever reason, Marvel is live on YouTube. And I go to the page, and not page, excuse me, I go to the video, the stream, and it's just an actor's chair with the name Chris Hemsworth on it. So I was like, oh, okay, no doubt. And I read the bottom, and it says Avengers Doomsday and all this stuff. I said, oh, so Thor is going to be in the Avengers. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. So I'm watching the feed, and it's just showing the chair. There's no music. There's no audio. It's just a visual of a chair. And I was like, okay, all right. And it's just a chair. So I said, you know what? It's a live stream. They're probably going to show other chairs. So let me go do what I got to do, and I come back. I think I was gone 15, 20 minutes. I come back to my phone. It's a chair with the name Chris Hemsworth on it. And I said, I don't have time for this bullshit. I don't. So I fucking left. I didn't have it in me to sit there and deal with that. So I just went through with the rest of my fucking day. As I go through my day, I'm getting messages. I'm getting tagged and shit. It's, did you hear about this? Did you see this? I think several hours went by, and they just slowly, I mean at a snail's fucking pace, just cascading across the chairs and just showing names and names and names and names and names until it gets to the very end. And it showcases a little surprise at the end. Now, I didn't have it's a live stream, so I can't go back. I can't go forward. I don't know what I'm missing. So I figured, you know what? When the stream ends, it'll self-upload, and then I can go back and I can watch. Sure enough, I was correct somewhat. Once it was done being live, the video did upload, but it uploaded in a 2-minute video of some guy just walking across really quickly and showing the fucking names. I was like, you couldn't do that several hours ago. Several hours ago.
You gotta get the views, bro. Can't give it to you early. You gotta earn it with your eyes.
With your eyes. For fuck's sake. I was like, oh, God. All right. Fine. So, they showcased a shit ton of chairs with a shit ton of names and a very weird, but I have a gut feeling, a very specific order. So, before I read this, did you get a chance to see the video yourself? Hello.
What? Say that again?
Did you get a chance to see the video yourself?
Did I see the video of the guy walking across the chairs of a bunch of actors I don't fucking know? Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So we're on. We're on the same page. Okay. So,
yeah, you lost. I mean, I don't know where you're at with it, but let me just get my piece off real quick. I don't like Channing Tatum as Gambit. I'm done. That's it. He's my favorite fucking character, and you're giving me Channing Tatum. I'm good. So go ahead. Say your piece.
See, but you didn't see him in the one movie he was in. You didn't see his performance. Ah, see. So
okay, was it good?
Huh?
Was it good?
I believe so.
Okay, fair enough.
Whatever. I believe so. What?
That's not the look. I don't know. I don't think.
But the person who is the toughest critic, who was my wife, she couldn't stop laughing because
at who?
All of at the Gambit character, all of the all of the action sequences, everything that he did as far as the development of the actual character was actually pretty good. Even she'll give you that.
I heard his accent was the worst part.
That's where he lost her. When he walked into the room. So just to give you a heads up, since you didn't see Deadpool, this was the one character where they went completely comic accurate. Even in the behind the scenes, I watched the assembled version of Deadpool when they were talking behind the scenes. They were asking Channing, like, where do you want this to go? How do you want this to look? And he wasn't sure because his movie was an origin story. He didn't get to that part in the comic book where you would remember with the headgear and the fucking purple plate and the fucking knee-high steel like fucking shin pads and the big fucking brown coat and all that stuff. He didn't get to that yet. So he's like, whatever you guys want to do, I'm down to do whatever. And they weren't sure. So he was like, why don't we just go comic accurate? Why don't we just take the 90s era Gambit with that look, even down to the hair, everything, and just fucking do that, like as close to that as we can get. And that's when he walks in the room in the movie, you see, first of all, his scene's dope because it's following a bunch of different surprises. So here comes Elektra, here comes Blade, everyone's popping. And all of a sudden from the corner, you see a floating purple ace of spades. And then you just see the fingers catch it, boom, like that. And then he walks into the room flicking the cards. And you're like, oh, shit. And even my wife was like, holy shit, that looks good. And then he opened his mouth and she went, ah! What is that? What happened? Now, there's a debate online about the accent because there was a lot of people that was just like, ooh, that's so bad. But it's bad because they don't imagine him speaking in that accent, in that tone, whereas in real life, he has a little bit of that draw because he has family from down there. He has a familiarity with that culture. So his Louisiana accent to him is a reference to his family, the way they speak to him. That's where he got his schooling for the accent from. It's from people from fucking New Orleans. So he was just like, he was doing, not only was he doing an accent as far as the way he spoke, but he was breaking out like French. You know what I mean? Like the way that Gambit would in the fucking comics. So it's up in the air. It could be either or. It's subjective. But let me go back to the see, this is the part that, and they're out of order based on relationship. So I'll just go through it. So obviously Chris Hemsworth is there, Thor, right? Last time we saw Thor was with Love and Thunder. Again, subjective on what you want to think about those last two Thor movies, but it did end with him finally in a better place. It did end with him finally done with his grief, everything that happened between Infinity War, Endgame, Ragnarok, all that stuff that he was going through. We had lost everybody and all that stuff. He finally found himself. That's how it kind of ends, and we don't know what happened with him after, but I guess we'll find out. The next thing was kind of surprising because this movie hasn't even come out yet, but they announced Vanessa Kirby, who plays Sue Storm - Richards. Apparently, she chose to hyphenate. So we've got Sue Storm from the Fantastic Four. Anthony Mackie's name came up, which obviously he is the new Captain America. Say what you want about the new movie, but across the board, they still say that he had a fabulous performance. I believe it. I enjoyed him in that movie. I had issues with some of the, we'll say, filmography. Some of the stunts and some of the stuff they had him do didn't make a whole lot of sense. But I already went on Pombo's show and bitched about that, which you can catch on YouTube. I kind of unloaded on my thoughts on the movie on his podcast. So you guys can check that out on my social media or at 2bscene.com. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but I won't have to because next up was Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, Bucky, and Mackie in the same vicinity yet again. That was cool to see. Although once I saw Sebastian Stan, I got kind of curious because we have seen the beginnings of a new life for Bucky and Cap. He is a candidate for congressman. We now know in the Thunderbolts he will have won his seat. He is an actual congressman and a politician in the Thunderbolts. So it'll be curious to see what his role is in the Avenger film. We have Letitia Wright, who has resumed the Black Panther mantle. Now, that is not to mean that she will be actually Black Panther in this film, or that maybe she starts off in this film as Black Panther, but we already have had it spoiled that they have recasted Black Panther by at least Secret Wars, we'll have a different Black Panther. So we'll see how that story plays itself out in Doomsday. Paul Rudd narrowly escapes the criticisms of Quantumania and is back in an Avenger film. I don't know if we call him an original. I don't think he's an original member, but he was definitely in that first phase, so that counts for something. Wyatt Russell, who plays U.S. agent not just in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but in the upcoming Thunderbolts film, he is going to be in there. I can't say this guy's name. It's Neymar. Let me see, Tanoch Hirata Mieja Medejo Maricon, whatever his name is.
Whoa!
He's a great actor. He's a great actor and a great Neymar, and he'll be in this film. And I'm sure he'll be up to shenanigans, because anybody who's familiar with Neymar, the character, he is neither babyface nor heel. He's a human being, as John Cena would say. He goes where the wind goes. Plus, it'll be curious to see if he tries to bang Sue Storm. Let's see if he can bag that one. Iban Moss Bacharach is back as Thing from the Fantastic Four. Simu Liu, Shang-Chi, officially on the Avengers cast and on the Avengers team. We'll see where he winds up, if he still has possessions of the 10 rings. We have not seen Shang-Chi in quite a while. He has been on the back burner for several years. So we'll see what he's been up to. Florence Pugh is back as the Black Widow. Kelsey Grammer as Beast is hilarious, because in the original Fox run, they really did have his ass in makeup, which is hilarious to think about. He made his debut in the MCU at the end of the Marvels film, but he was completely CGI, which means Kelsey Grammer will more than likely be brought in to be a voice actor as opposed to literally being smothered in blue paint. Yay for him. Louis Pullum, who has not debuted in the MCU officially just yet. He makes his debut in the Thunderbolts film. He will be portraying the character of Bob/Sentry. Sentry being in the Avengers film for Doomsday is odd, but also very exciting for those of you fans out there who have not heard of this character before, because of course he hasn't debuted in the MCU yet. He is Marvel's Superman. He has Superman's powers to the T. He does everything Superman does. The problem with Sentry is that he's not always the good guy. Sometimes he's got to do what a god has to do. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be a wild card. We will learn more next month during Thunderbolts. We have Danny Ramirez returning as the Falcon, Joseph Quinn, who is going to be the Human Torch, David Harbour as the Red Guardian, Winston Duke as M'Baku. I just want to see M'Baku smash this. How is M'Baku the most powerful regular-ass human ever in the MCU? That motherfucker is the man. Hannah John Kamen as the Ghost. Tom Hiddleston returns as Loki, which is going to be interesting because the God of Stories is where we left off with Loki. So how will he tie into the multiverse saga coming to an end here at Doomsday? He had found his purpose. Will he be relieved of his duties in some way to join the fray, to join the fight? We'll see how that goes. This is where it gets crazy. Patrick Stewart returning to the MCU as Professor Xavier. Ian McKellen coming in as Magneto is fucking mind-boggling. That we're gonna have fucking Magneto in this fucking movie, and not just any Magneto, but the Magneto who was old in the 90s when we first started doing this.
When I saw that one, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty dope."
He was old 30 years ago, and now forget it. He's fucking ambulatory. But Alan Cumming coming back as the Nightcrawler should be interesting. Rebecca Romaine returning as Mystique. No Jennifer Lawrence. By the way, that whole team not here. We'll get to that in a second. James Marsden, Cyclops, who was just on the red carpet not too long ago with Sonic 3 and was bombarded because the rumors have been out there. He was bombarded with X-Men talk, and he's been blowing people off for weeks. Well, the cat's out of the bag. James Marsden is in this. Cyclops is back, and he's in there. You mentioned Channing Tatum as Gambit, Pedro Pascal returning as Reed Richards, and of course Robert Downey Jr. moving forward with his version of Doctor Doom. Now, there are many versions of Doom, all of which badass, but there are many versions of Doom, and we can break all that down, but we'd be here for a fucking minute. But the ending of that video has Robert in the actual chair and in the fucking shot, and he looks down the chairs, and he's just like, oof, Jesus Christ. It's a lot of people. It makes that face. And they give you the now in production, which is true. The cast that we just mentioned are all on set now as we speak, putting together what I can only assume will be a masterclass in fuckery, because they have got a lot of fucking people that they have to give some. 80% of these people are going to get paid a shit ton of money to do very fucking little. Because it's going to be all about the fucking storytelling with these guys, and it's just, I don't know how it's going to go. So, long list of people, dope addition to what is going to be an amazing series of events. But as per the usual, a lot of conversation about the names that we did not see. No Hulks. Whether it be Hulk or She-Hulk. No Hawkeyes, whether it be Lady Hawkeye or a male Hawkeye. No Spider-Man in this one. None of the Marvels are in this one. We have a few, even if you went the other way with the X-Men, no Halle Berry. So no, not her version of Storm. There's a number of X-Men that were a part of those Fox series that did not make it to the video here. A lot of noticeable, none of the Guardians, which we have Guardians, and we've been told that Star-Lord will appear again. But none of those names involved in the process here for this particular movie. So I know that recently we had the conversation where you said you haven't really watched a bunch of them recently. Does this spark anything in you to go see Doomsday when it comes out? This casting. Be honest.
Maybe, I guess.
No, just be honest. If you're not feeling it,
just
say it.
I just feel like there's a lot of homework that I'm not gonna be able to do. I'm just not gonna be able to do that homework.
I'm too far behind.
That's my biggest thing. It's just my thing. It's just too much. Like I'm sure, like, if you are into it and you're keeping up with all of it, this is fire. But for, like, to me, it's just like, oh, this looks cool, Robert Downey Jr. and stuff. But, like, I don't want to do the homework. And I feel like I'll just be super lost. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Well,
so
what if I told you that,
oh boy.
What if I told you that that perhaps, just perhaps, that not having absolute and total knowledge of every minute detail might actually work in your favor. Because I think, from what I understand from some of the stuff that I've been listening to, that the directors, the Russo brothers, actually kind of have that in mind when developing this film. If for no other reason, because it's too vast, right? So let's say you're recent to the MCU. You might know Cap and Thor and the Winter Soldier, maybe Ant-Man, right? They've been around for a little bit. The Black Widow, okay, I get it. Those you might be more familiar with. If you were a part of, like, one of the original phases, so like Ant-Man and I'm looking down the line here, Falcon, Loki, okay, you kind of get that. With if you weren't here for, like, the Fox universe, right? So it's like this might be your first, because James Marsden hasn't been Cyclops since what? The late 90s, right? So You might the early 2000s at best. Like you probably have never even seen him be Cyclops. You might not even have seen Rebecca Romijn be Mystique. You probably don't know the dynamic between Professor X and Magneto. We still haven't seen the Fantastic Four. We still haven't seen the Thunderbolts because those movies have not come out yet. But they're going to be integral parts. So if you don't want to do past homework, I can understand that. There's a lot of the universes here that you'd have to catch up on. But if you want to at least be somewhat in the know, then the reason why I like this chair reveal thing is because a good chunk of this cast are the Thunderbolts. And a good chunk of this cast is the Fantastic Four. And those movies are on the way. Those are not past movies. Those are movies that are coming out. So even if you're like me, you're hardcore and you follow every fucking thing of this stuff from beginning to end, you're not in the know. I don't know what role the Thunderbolts play. I don't know what role the Fantastic Four plays. We're technically all still kind of on the same page. Like, if you don't know who U.S. Agent is it going to matter that you didn't see Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Not really. You kind of get the gist of who he is. He's a knockoff Captain America, but at least he's got the Super Soldier Serum, so it works. Is that the Black Widow you remember playing Black Widow before? No, it's a different actress, and she's playing a different character, but she plays Black Widow very, very similarly. So I think there's still some things here that might grab people, even if you don't follow it all the time. Now, are there going to be some moments in the film where they mention some sort of thing that happened a long time ago?
And those are there's going to be a lot of them, and those are going to be the fun moments.
Right.
So right. So
but this is where people like me shine. Just lean over and ask. I'll tell you. Just lean over and ask. I'll tell you.
No. It's homework. It's going in and understanding that you're out of the loop. But their only saving grace is if they can find a way to hook you with the new movies. But even then, it's still homework. And on top of that, even in those individual movies, there's going to be references to old shit. You can't escape old shit. It's just not going to happen.
Well, Fantastic Four won't. Because they're set in a different timeline and they're not connected to the old shit yet. At the end of that movie, they will be. But as of right now...
They'll find a way. They have to. That's the whole point of this shit.
For all of it to be interconnecting in some way?
Listen, I'll say this at the least. This is their opportunity to rehook a lot of people. But I don't think it's not gonna do it. We'll see. I'm open to watching some, especially like whatever the first new one that has to do with this come out. I'm willing to watch it, and I will tell you off of that first movie what the vibe is going to be because.
Well, the next one coming out is next month, Thunderbolts.
I'm just saying, this is their opportunity. This is their reset button. Let's just say that this is their opportunity to hit the reset button and pull some people back in. But what you have to do is treat the Thunderbolts and reference nothing. Develop the Thunderbolts, and that's what it looked like it's going to do.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's what it looked like, actually.
Because they have to build these characters. But don't start referencing people from other movies. If you do that, I'm fucking done. I'm lost. I'm going to give them the chance. But if they can fully focus on this, like they did the first Thor, if they really focus just on this movie, like they did with the Iron Mans, then we're good. They do not need to pull a Doctor Strange where everything is fucking going back in time and referencing shit that has nothing to do with what's in front of me. If they can do that on the first movie, I would even say the second one as well. Yes. If they can do that for the first two movies, I think you can reset a few mindsets. But once you start getting to talking about some dude X amount of years ago and there's an issue, fuck off. Don't hint to me about something in the past, even at the end of this movie. Hint to me the next character we're developing for the next movie. That's fine.
Moving
But don't
forward.
reference a link to the overall story from these guys at the end of this movie. Because I think that's gonna hurt it. Just don't reference anything.
One reference that I think is going to be unavoidable because I think it helps with the story for Thunderbolts. The one reference that they're probably going to make, it's probably unavoidable, is the reference. They're probably going to reference Scarlett Johansson at least once because she's the one that died at Endgame that saved the world, and that's her sister who's leading the team.
To me, hey, guess what? That ruins it.
But that's the one movie you saw.
It doesn't but that's the last one I saw.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
so you're in.
That was years ago.
So you're in.
So if you didn't see that one, you're gone. You're completely disconnected from the story.
But you
now.
did.
Because you don't know what that is. Okay, but you're talking about me. They're not trying to hook me in. They want people like me who don't want to go back and watch that shit. And I am the one person that saw that movie. And I don't know if you know this about my memory. I can't recall much shit from that. And I'm not going back to rewatch it. So if it is a big deal, then you need to find another way to fucking tell that story.
So then
if they cannot sell this movie, and I know like comic book fans would find this take a little annoying because it's like the whole point is to call back this shit. Like that's what the comic thing is all about.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You did too much. You ruined it. And if I'm watching a movie that is supposed to be a part of some more movies that's leading to a big payout, I don't want to have to go backwards. That's all I'm saying. And if you make me feel like I have to, I'm not gonna fucking watch them. I'm just not.
So
I can't keep up.
So that's
let the nerds have it.
I was gonna say let them have it. It's not
there's
for
wrong
us.
With that. It's not for people like me. It's just not, and there's nothing wrong with that. This doesn't have to do what the first Avengers did. The first Avengers was special because we didn't even really understand what was happening in front of us. Right? We were calling back to comic books.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But now we're calling back to movies.
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing it. Fuck it.
I'm just not doing it.
So, I don't know. I know that's probably like a hot take for some people, especially people fans of it. But I know I'm not the only one. I've seen tons of clips of like when Avengers was coming out, everyone was dressed up and cosplaying and shit. And then it's like the new Avengers are like, you guys going to go see it? They're like, no. They're like, yeah, like me neither. I was like, the guy like he really wanted to see it, but all his friends didn't want to see it.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if you would go, because then I would make fun of you for going. But you're saying
you're not exactly. That's exactly it. Yes. So for this, because I know how much you like and want to talk about this shit and have like an actual conversation and not you just like dumping all your knowledge. But I will make the attempt on the new movie because it did look really cool. I thought it did look good. But if you start making me feel like I need to do fucking homework, I'm not watching this shit. I'm just not.
I bet you this. You know what? You've set your terms. I've heard you. I bet you're gonna like this movie. I bet you're gonna like.
Hey, hook me. I'm hookable. You know what I mean?
I'm hookable.
If I'm a fish in the water, I see the bait. I'm gonna go check it out every time.
Yeah. But I mean, I bite. But I'm gonna check it out.
You put some new bait in the water. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's shiny.
But if you make the hook too obvious, I'm leaving. I'm not buying.